Yeah. We're coming live now. I want to share this on my different this thing platforms. So let me
DJ play that happy music. Yeah. Make them play that happy music. Yeah. Make the baby happy music. Yeah. Make the people sing along. From my head down to my toes. Oh yeah. My mama said he really must to cash you. It's true love, it's true love. And if you say something, don't they happen?
yeah. Okay. Let me put it up here. Yeah, good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from anywhere you're watching me from all over the world. How are you today? How is it going at your hand? How are you coping? How are you coping with the lockdown? Because in this side of the world, in Europe, we're in the second phase of the lockdown, but we're hoping that the the lockdown will be eased off sometimes, maybe December 1st or thereabouts. We pray that the Lord will continue to guide us in the name of Jesus. I can see one person online. Please give me a shout out. Let me know who you are so that I can give you a shout out. So welcome on board. Thank you for joining. My name is Oluwatosin Olajumoke Arojuju. I'm the creative director of Ada Creations, a publishing, design, and brand development company. Our core niche is publishing books, writing inscriptions on t-shirts, and building brand and personal identity when it comes to creating products for brands, for personal or business identity. And today, we are going to be reading from one of the books that we published at Ada Creations titled Identity. If you've been watching this show ever since I started coming on the talk show, you would have seen me talk about this book. And if you're connected with me online, you would have seen me talk about this power book titled Identity. So today we're going to be bringing out a chapter from the book, and the chapter is Envy. That's the topic of today's talk show. Please give me a shout out, drop a comment if you're joining me on this show. Let me know that you're there so that I can, say hello and welcome you on board. Yes, we've been talking about identity for some days now, and that we're looking for sponsors. We've been getting some sponsors. People are paying for copies, and they're asking us to give it to some specific kind of people. The last sponsor we had recently asked us to, pay for 20 copies, and they asked us to give it to students at the university. So if you're interested in purchasing a copy, 2 copies, 5 copies, 10 copies, 20, 50, 100, 200, 500, however you want it. Remember that Ada Creations, which is where I'm a creative director, is the publisher of the book. So if you want to give us a huge chunk of money to publish several copies, we are up to the task and we'll be grateful. We are having a plan on, giving out a lot of these books to people, most especially students at the university, even students at the senior secondary school, perhaps SS3, so that they will get to understand themselves, so that they would avoid this issue of mistaken identity or misplaced identity. When an individual finds themselves, a lot of things get easier. I can see some people dropping comments. Let me see who they are. Sister Stella, welcome on board. Thank you. Marachi, thank you for coming on board. Okay. The book you guys showed interest on. Oh, you're tagging them. Okay, great. That's good. So let's get on with the business of the day. I'm going to play the intro video, then I'll go straight to the business of the day. Welcome on board. Please share this video so that people on your timeline can get to watch, and we can all get to learn from one another. So I'll play the intro video now before we kick off the talk show. Yes, welcome on board. Once again, my name is Oluwatosin Olajumoke Arodudu, the creative director of Other Creations, a publishing design and brand development company. Our core niche is publishing books. Can you hear me clearly, please? Let me know if I'm audible enough so that I don't just get to talk slowly. Okay, Eze Message, welcome on board. Thank you for joining us, sis. Good to see you. So our core niche at Other Creations is publishing books, design, writing inscriptions, motivational inscription on t-shirts, and creating personal and business identity for brands. So I'm the host of the talk show on the Today's Woman's Discovery talk show. And on this platform, we talk about a lot of things that can help us to live a wholesome life. We talk about our identity. We talk about a lot of issues regarding life, how we can get to understand ourselves better, and, in order for us to live a wholesome life. When you understand a lot of things about yourself, when you're self-aware, then you are able to manifest at your, elements. You are able to manifest authentically, and this will aid you to live a wholesome life. So our topic of discussion today is envy. Envy. So envy can be defined as a feeling of discontent or covetousness with regard to another's advantages, success, or possession. Envy is simply a feeling of covetousness, a kind of a greedy feeling that you have towards someone else's possession. Sometimes envy could be a longing, maybe, oh, this kind of hair I'm wearing right now. You are a lady and you're like, oh, I envy your hair. Like, oh, I like it. I want to have the type. Sometimes envy can just be what it is. I love what you wear, what you have. I want to, I like what you're wearing. I like how you carry yourself. I envy you. It could just be as it is, just as it is. Envy you, like a longing to have what you possess, or to just be like you. It could be a positive longing, like, okay, I envy this person. I want to be like this person, and you begin to develop yourself. Maybe like you have a role model that you want to be like. Yes, you begin to develop yourself in order to aspire to be like that person. That could also be negative, because the end result sometimes is that you become a clone of another person. But envy as it is, it could just be as simple as longing for what somebody else has, a longing. However, it becomes extremely dangerous when it turns to jealousy. Sometimes we use both interchangeably, but there's a slight difference. Envy could just be the flat, that feeling of longing to have what someone else has, and working positively in order to be able to, aspire to get to that particular place, or to be able to acquire what that person has, without harboring any negative thoughts. So, but the moment you begin to harbor resentment towards someone because of what they possess, then it becomes jealousy. That is when it becomes a dangerous, inherent attitude. And there's this thing that they see on the social media, that envy is the last level you get to before you become a full-blown witch. Whenever I see that comment or anywhere on the social media, it makes me laugh. But it's the truth. Because if you become envious of someone to the point that it becomes a feeling of resentment in you towards that person, then you are graduating into becoming a dangerous human being that people should avoid. So to envy someone is to feel a longing for what the person possesses, or you wish to have what they have for yourself. Many of us use envy. Yes, I've said that I will use envy and jealousy interchangeably, but there's a slight difference in both of them. However, envy is usually the first step. And if you do not nip it in the bud, let it just be as it is. Oh, I like what you have, and that's it. You move. You're not fixated on what that person has to the point that the devil now, the devil now turns it, and you allow the devil a chance in your heart and make it become jealousy. You begin to have a jealous feeling towards another person. Let me open comments so that I can. Oh, thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. Mommy Grace Additional. Thank you for joining us, ma. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you, ma. Happy Sunday. I'm fine, ma. How are you too? And how's the family? Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad to see you. So yes, Amarachi, envy is a longing to what somebody has. Of course, that's it. That's the definition. And as humans, envy can be stirred in us naturally. It can be stirred. Maybe you want what someone else has. Oh, and I like what that person has. But self-discipline must apply. If you like what someone else has, like you long for what someone else has or possess, let it end at that. That is where you apply self-discipline, so that longing does not graduate into resentment. That is where many of us miss it. Because some people, when you talk about envy, like everybody be like, oh, hey, God forbid, I'm not envious. So, we're always quick to label other people of the emotion envy. Meanwhile, we don't look inwards to see if we are also guilty of this emotion. So if you long for what someone else has, you want to be like someone, you like what someone else is, what someone else is, maybe like what they're wearing or the kind of life they live, let it end at that. The moment you allow the devil a chance, then it graduates into jealousy and you become a dangerous human being. So envy is usually the first step, a longing. But when it is mixed up with resentment, then it becomes jealousy. So let's go on. Let's go on. Until we start to look inwards, we might not grow or drop off all the negative, inherent attitudes in us. We're always quick to label other people. Oh, this one is envious of me. Oh, that person is jealous of me. But we don't also look inwards. And until we begin to personally look inwards to understand our emotions, to understand ourselves appropriately, we might not be able to deal with all these negative and toxic emotions that we sometimes carry in us unknowingly. So I'm going to be talking about five kinds of maybe characters that can lead to envy in you as an individual. If you can pay attention to these 5 things, then you might be able to deal with the emotion envy successfully without it having a sitting or thank you, man. Nice hearing your voice. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, man. So if you are able to identify these 5 kinds of attitude or nature or whatever it is, and you're able to deal with it successfully, then you'll be able to deal with envy. So number 1, lack of contentment. Lack of contentment. The Bible says in 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 6 that but godliness with contentment is great gain. You can't be godly and not be contented with what you have. Many of us are not contented with what we have. Even when God blesses us, we still envy other people. We still desire what other people have. We still want to be in other people's shoes. We still want to possess what other people possess. Thereby, we now look at what God has blessed us with. We look at it like as if it is inconsequential. We don't appreciate God's blessing in our lives. So, but when you are contented with what you have, even if it is insignificant, even if it is not enough, even if it is not satisfactory, but you're just contented, then you realize that you don't envy any other person. Even people that have what you desire, you realize that you don't feel the emotion and envying you. Why? Because you are contented with wherever you are. You are contented with whatever it is that the Lord has blessed you with, even if you desire more. As you strive to aim higher, you are also, you discipline yourself to be contented. Contentment is what helps us not to feel the emotion envy. So let's go on. If you're not contented with each and every of your step in life, then you would be prone to envy. Many of us are always harboring discontentment. Whatever position we find ourselves, we are always looking at the other person's grass. We are always not contented. We always, look at whatever it is that we have, or whatever position that we find ourselves as insignificant. We feel that we don't measure up to other people. That is lack of contentment. Wherever you find yourself, good evening, Sister Yetunde, welcome on board. Good to see you. So wherever you find yourself, always be contented. Of course, it is good to aim higher. It is good to see someone and you be like, okay, I want to aspire to be like this person. This person inspires me. but let it end at that. Be still, that carry that attitude of contentment, so that it will help you not to envy other people. So let's go on. And if you are not contented, you're going to be prone to envy, and envy would always dwell in your heart against people who appear to have more than you. When we lack contentment, you begin to envy other people that appear to have more than you. And oftentimes, most of those people, Sister Debbie, welcome on board. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, Sister Yetunde said, it's a contentment is a discipline. Sorry, I'm sweating. Let me dab my face. It's kind of hot this afternoon. I don't know why. So, contentment is a form of discipline. We have, especially as women, we need to discipline ourselves. I think I need to open the window. Please excuse me. Let me open the window. So, as women, we must be very conscious of applying self-discipline, because it is easier for women to fall into discontentment. Like, we begin to envy what other people have. Even some women, they become, they're not contented with their spouse. It is somebody else's husband that you desire. Why? Maybe the husband pampers her, the husband changes her car regularly, the husband buys her whatever it is that she needs, the husband carries her like an egg. So you begin to envy that other woman. But we need to learn how to be contented, even if what you have is not enough. Learn the art of contentment is key. It would help you to deal with the emotion envy. Contentment helps us a lot to manage our emotions as an individual. It is okay. You will see something that someone else has that would, that you desire, but let it end at that. Oh, I like what this person has, though, and I wish I can have that thing. I wish I can work hard to be able to possess or to have what this person has, but let it end at that point. The moment it begins to graduate, then you begin to envy that person. You begin to monitor them. You begin to put a tab on them. Then you graduate into envy and jealousy. So let's go on. Let us stop being covetous. Yeah. Stop despising what you have. Stop despising your journey and processes. Some of us despise everybody has a process. Too. Yes, people that appear to have more than you. Sometimes people appear to have more than you. But the truth is that they are just contented. They are just contented. They've learned the art of managing themselves. Sometimes they don't even have up to you. That is one of the secrets that you need to understand. Sometimes they don't have up to what you are. Sometimes they are not as blessed as you are. But because you lack contentment, you begin to envy them. And because they are contented, they look envious to everyone who sees them. So contentment is discipline. Aside the fact that it's a godly virtue, it's a form of discipline that we must apply in our lives. It helps us to manage all these negative emotions that crops us in us as a result of, lack of self-discipline. So let me go on. Appreciate your journey and processes. Don't allow anyone to make you feel that you are not enough. There are some gatherings that you find yourself and they begin to make you feel that you are not enough. The moment you begin to hate people for who they are, then it becomes jealousy. Yes, Margaret said that the moment you begin to hate people for who they are, then it becomes jealousy. Exactly. The moment you begin to hate people, maybe you envy them, then you begin to hate them. Is he the only one? Is she the only one? What is even wrong with this person? Said always acting as if they're the only one that is this and that. That is jealousy. Then you have become a dangerous human being. Never appreciate people. Someone might inspire you. You might, desire to have what they have, or to, maybe you see them as a role model, but let it end at that. The moment it begins to turn into resentment, maybe a feeling of resentment begins to come up in you, then you have graduated into jealousy. And that is why envy, if maybe a feeling of envy stirs up in you, like you like what someone else has, or you want to be like someone, let it end at that. Like discipline yourself, snap out of that feeling immediately. Because by the time you allow yourself to sink, that is when it becomes jealousy, it becomes resentment. Then you begin to monitor, you begin to keep a tab, you begin to look out for their downfall. So let's guard our hearts diligently. Let me go to, and one thing that you're always going to is that, and one thing in life is that you're going to meet people that have more than you. No matter how blessed you are in your journey in life, as you meet people, as you go out, as you interact with people, as you dwell amidst other humans, you are going to find people that are more blessed than you. That is why contentment is key. Contentment is key. Oh, if you are contented, you are going to be able to manage yourself. You're going to be able to interact with people easily and be at peace with people without allowing envy to cloud your judgment, or without allowing envy to take a seat in your heart. So number two, ingratitude. That is also one of the things that leads us to envy. We are not grateful. We are always quick to become ungrateful. Some of us we've been looking for something for a very long time. Maybe we've been praying for something. The moment God gives you that thing, then you begin to look at that thing as inconsequential. You begin to desire more. Contentment is great gain. Materialism does not satisfy. I don't know if anybody has, if you have discovered this thing, please put it in the comment section. Maybe you are somewhere now and you aim to move to the next level, and you tell yourself, oh, when I get to that level, I'm going to be so happy. My happiness will increase. My joy will increase. It is a lie. That is why we need to be contented. As you aspire to move up in life, wherever you find yourself at that moment, be contented, be happy, because that next level will not still satisfy you. The human nature always wants more. We always yearn for more. We always want to be more. We always want to possess more. That is why you must be contented and be grateful at whatever level you are in life. That is the only way that can make your joy full. If you are not grateful, if you are not contented, your joy you will not have a joyful heart. Even your life you won't be happy, because you lack contentment, and your soul is soaked in so much ingratitude. So always be grateful at whatever it is that you have been. Maybe, okay, you've been asking God for something, and at the end of the day, God does that thing. Then you begin to feel overwhelmed. Then you start complaining. Oh, I prefer my former life. Snap yourself out of it immediately and tell God that, oh Lord, I'm grateful for this point that I'm in. I'm grateful. I remembered when I was still there. And look at me today. Even if it's not easy, even if I feel overwhelmed, I'm still grateful. Consciously, practice gratitude. It would help you, because when we are not grateful, we are prone to envy. Because when you're not grateful for your lot in life, when you're not grateful for your position, you begin to look at the other person's vineyard. You begin to peep into the other person's field. And because you feel that they are happier than you, they are more joyful than you, so you begin to covet what they have. That is why you must practice gratitude. Tell yourself that you're grateful. Tell God how grateful to Him you are every day. Talk to yourself in a positive way, no matter how overwhelmed you feel. So let's go on. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 16 to 18 says that rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. You always give thanks, no matter how. That's one of the things that my mom taught us when we were growing up. She always says that, that's a Yoruba word. That is, in every situation you find yourself, always be grateful. If you inspire me, then I can ask you to mentor me. Exactly, ma. Rather than, dwelling in envy or looking for ways to pull that person down. If someone inspires you, walk up to them. Be bold. Speak out. Oh, you inspire me. Can you mentor me? Can you guide me? Can you teach me? Can you show me? Don't just bottle it up and be looking at them and be looking for ways to pull them down. If someone inspires you, rather than enter into an unhealthy competition with them, we're still going to get to that anyway. Walk up to them and tell them that they inspire you and that you want them to mentor you. So let's go on. When you are grateful, you will treat your blessings as in you will cherish whatever it is that God blesses you with. Whatever it is that you have, when you are naturally grateful, you will cherish them. But when you are full of ingratitude, when you are not satisfied with whatever it is that you have, you would always view your blessings ordinarily. That's the secret. And when you begin to view your blessings ordinarily, you are prone to envy, because you will be looking at the other person's vineyard or their field, and that is what you would always covet. And before you know it, you fall into you allow the emotional envy to take a seat in your heart. So it is always good to practice gratitude. Even if the other person has what you desire, or you feel that the other person is having it better than you, be grateful for your own lot. Because that particular thing that you have and you feel that it's ordinary is what someone else's desire. So always be grateful, always be positive, always, just be grateful, because nowadays, sometimes when I'm going on the road and I remember some things in the past, I'll just burst into gratitude though. I'll start telling God, Lord, I thank you. Lord, I thank you. I remember so time. That's the conversation I used to have. If I'm walking, maybe I'm walking, I'm taking a stroll, or I'm even in the house, I'm doing something, I just tell God that, Lord, I remember so time. I'm grateful. Even if I've not gotten to where I want to get to, I'm grateful. Look at me. I'll start having that conversation with myself. Sometimes I walk up to my husband, can you remember so time when so thing was happening? Lord Jesus, I thank you. You understand? Let it be a part of you. These are the things that will help you it will even release joy in your heart when you are naturally grateful. Sister Debbie said that envy is one of the quickest ways to lose. Exactly, Sister Debbie. Envy, when you are envious, you will lose focus. When you are envious, you will be distracted easily because it is what someone else have that you would always desire. You will not even pay attention to the beautiful things that the Lord has blessed you with. You would always spy into the other person's garden because you are envious. You lose focus. You will not even follow the path that the Lord has put you in because envy would always be that thing that would always, inspire most of your decisions. Envy is a dangerous emotion, and we must, eschew it. Don't allow it in your heart. You can appreciate people. You can like what they are doing. You can love what they wear. I remember when I was very young. In fact, it's one of those things in this book. Let me read from chapter 11, envy. I said, while I was growing up, my mom taught us well regarding envy as an emotion. She constantly chided us against envy and that we should never give in to it in our journey through life. This shaped my mindset growing up. And I was always that friend that had good words for our friends and anyone around in order to uplift their soul. I just didn't have it in me to pull anyone down. I would rather lift someone up rather than pull them down. This has made many of my friends and the people I come in contact with to see me as a safe haven, someone who they are safe with and that they can share their innermost secrets or be themselves with. I think this was where my gift as a counselor and a life coach began unknowingly. See, when we were growing up, even as a young girl, I remember that my mom would always tell me, never you envy anyone. If you like what someone else has, walk up to them and tell them, oh, I admire your dress. Oh, I like what you're wearing. I like your shoe. Oh, I like how you carry yourself. He said, but never you allow that negative feeling against what someone else has or possess to well up in you. And this was how I grew up, and this was why I understood life. Until I began to come into the world, as in the full-blown world, and I began to see that people have different kinds of nature. When you have been shielded all your life, or you live the kind of shielded life, and a kind of life that is serene, and a kind of life that is focused, then when you begin to live life on your own, you become independent, you are released into the world out there. You're going to see something different entirely. And it was like a rude shock to me, because I felt like it was the way I feel towards people, never harboring any form of toxic emotions against them or envious of them. I thought that was how every other person felt. So this kind of that nature, that mentality made me extremely vulnerable. If you read the book Identity, I don't want to go deep, but if you want to get more into the story, you have to get a copy of this book. You understand what I was saying, that when I became released into the world out there, I became extremely vulnerable because I was thinking that the way I grew up, like never, how my mom taught us right from the cradle, never to be envious of anyone. I thought that was how every other person that I was going to come in contact with lived their own whole life. But I realized that the difference, it was a different ball game entirely in the world out there. And if you want to get a deep insight into what I'm trying to say regarding what I'm talking about right now, get a copy of Identity. It is available on Amazon. Go to Amazon worldwide, and it is available in Nigeria. We can deliver to you anywhere in Nigeria. So let me go on. Number 3, we talked about inferiority, lack of contentment, ingratitude. Number 3, inferiority complex. When you are inferior, when you feel inferior, or you feel that you are not good enough, you are prone to envy. Because that feeling of not being good enough would make you to envy other people. And sometimes those people that you are even envious of, they are also looking at you as, oh, this person is all that. Oh, I would love to be like this person. But because you feel inferior within yourself, because you don't understand the kind of person you are, that inferiority complex will make you vulnerable to the emotion envy. So let me keep reading. It's an intense feeling. Inferiority complex is an intense feeling of inadequacy. You feel that you are not good enough. It's an intense when you feel inadequate. When you have that intense feeling of inadequacy, that is called inferiority complex. What did Sister Amarachi said? That don't enter into an healthy competition with anyone who inspires you. Exactly, Amarachi. Whoever inspires, I also met these people in my journey. People that you inspire, but they are doing everything to pull you down. Please get a copy of Identity. I can't say everything on air. You need to read it to understand what I'm trying to talk about. People that you inspire as an individual, rather than them to tell you that you inspire me, I like how you do your things, and I want you to mentor me, or I want to, you inspire me a lot, and I think I want to build some of the way I do my own things after the way you do yours. No, they're not going to do that. So they're going to do everything to pull you down. These things were so alien to me, when I became exposed to the outer world out there, and it really made me emotional because I didn't understand that human beings could actually behave in this kind of manner. Because the way I was raised was that if you like what someone else is doing, walk up to them and tell them, I like what you're doing. I want to be like you. Can you show me? Can you mentor me? Can you give me an insight into the way you do these things? But I realize that the reverse is the case in the world out there. Rather than people walking up to you, they're going to do everything to disparage you, to make you feel that you're not good enough in front of the whole world. Those were the things that I was exposed to while on my journey. I'm still, things like that, we still see it today, but it's just that we've grown. We've now understood life. Our eyes are now widely opened. So, the way I felt back then is not the way I'm going to deal with such situations if I encounter them in my journey right now, because I've grown up and I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. Sister Debbie said that. God bless your mom. That's a critical lesson. Exact. Thank you. So, yeah, she did. She was always hammering it into my brother and myself, into our ears while we were young. So that was how I understood life. Until I got out there and I realized that it was a different ball game entirely. And in order to get a deeper insight into what I'm talking about, please get a copy of Identity, and you're going to read about what I'm trying to talk about inside. So inferiority complex is an intense feeling of inadequacy. When you always have this intense feeling that you're not enough. Oh my God, what's happening? Sorry, my light has gone off. Let me put it on. Okay, let me go. So that intense feeling that you're not good enough. Sometimes you are very good, though. Sometimes you are the best. Sometimes you are the champion, but that negative, intense feeling sits right there in your belly that makes you feel that you're not good enough. So you begin to envy other people that you are even better than. You begin to envy them. You begin to, it is a spirit of witchcraft. Exactly, ma. Envy is a spirit of witchcraft. There's no two ways about it. The moment it graduates into jealousy and it graduates into resentment, and you begin to look for ways to pull other people down, then that is simply witchcraft. There's no other two ways about it. So let's go on. That feeling of intense feeling of inadequacy. It is a feeling of belief that one is not as good as others. Inferiority complex makes you believe that you're not as good, of which sometimes you are even the best. But because you have that negative feeling inside of you, maybe perhaps the way you grew up, a lot of people have told you that you're not good enough. You've been terribly criticized even as a child. So you begin that inferiority complex just sits right there in you, and it begins to affect you as you move on in life. It makes you prone to envy because you will always look at other people as being better than you. So let's go on. And that intense feeling of inadequacy will make you feel insecure around other people. Inferiority complex leads to insecurity. You begin to feel insecure. You begin to feel as if everybody's looking at you as if you're not good enough. Like everybody's looking at you as if you are inadequate. And how do you deal with the spirit of inferiority complex? Please tell yourself positive things. Positive affirmations is very, very important. If you have that feeling of inadequacy, one of the ways you can deal, sometimes it's not our fault. It's the way we grew up. Maybe we've been surrounded with critics as children. Then we have this trauma in us that, follows up on our journey in life. And it acts as a kind of negative hindrance. It creates an hindrance for us. When you have that feeling of inferiority complex, you're not going to be able to achieve a lot of things that you're supposed to achieve in life. So one of the ways you can deal with inferiority complex is by telling yourself positive things, by surrounding yourself with positive people. This is very, very important. Don't say because, I don't want to be seen as a bad person. I want to keep relationships. I don't want everybody to see me as a bad person that cannot keep relationships. Then you not surround yourself with toxic people. What would toxic people do to you? They sink their fangs into you and suck out your essence. You begin to feel that you're not good enough. Then before you know it, that's because you've allowed yourself to dwell amidst people that are toxic for you. You begin to feel inferior. Then you begin to envy them. These are the ways that envy develops in us. You begin to envy them because they've already succeeded in making you feel that you're not good enough. So you now begin to envy them. You want to pattern your life after them. You begin to look, you enter into a competition with them. So if you feel that you have that feeling of inadequacy, deal with it. Go get into the roots. Begin to look at the mirror and tell yourself positive things. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I'm a royal priesthood, a chosen generation. I am the best. Whatever it is I do, I succeed in it. Tell yourself positive things so that you can uplift yourself, so that you're not prone to the emotion envy. Yes, tell yourself positive things. Yes, Amarachi, thank you. And let me see. And if you're constantly around people who remind you of your limitations and weaknesses, I think you need to get yourself away from that kind of environment. You don't need, if you are surrounded with people who remind you of you, they are going to be extremely vulnerable. And this will make you, because then it makes you prone to envy. By the time you become vulnerable, you don't even believe in yourself anymore. You believe that you're not good enough. Then you begin to envy other people. Sometimes you begin to envy people that are not even as good as you are. So surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with people that are, that you align together. Surround yourself, tell yourself positive things. Be closer to God so that you can get to the root of that inferiority complex. And number 4, lack of self-awareness. This is what I always talk about as an identity coach. If you don't know who you are, then you are going to be prone to the emotion envy. But if you understand your individuality, you understand the purpose for which you are created, you understand your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you are self-aware, you understand your motive, you understand your character, then you're not going to envy any other person. Because at that point, you would have understood yourself to a point that you begin to develop your strengths. You begin to walk in the purpose for which you are created. You will no longer exist. So it will be very difficult for you to begin to now peep. Is it you that you're busy trying to even unleash those resources that the Lord has deposited in you? Is it you that will not have time to be envious of other people? You will be extremely busy. Why? Because you have found yourself. But if you have not found yourself, people will tell you who you are not. If you have not found yourself, people will tell, please write it down. If you don't know who you are, people are going to tell you who you are not. Then you become extremely vulnerable. You start getting envious of them. You want to pattern your life after them. Why? Because you don't know yourself. That is why it is extremely important that you find your self-discovery. Who am I? What is the purpose for which I'm created? What am I here to do? Lord, show me, reveal me to me. If you are a Christian, these are the prayers you pray. Tell the Lord to reveal who you are to you. So that you can, you can understand yourself, you can master yourself. Then you can guard yourself against all these toxic emotions that makes you to feel that other people are better than you. So let's go on. Appreciate yourself and your individuality. You would know what you can achieve if you are self-aware. You will know your strengths and your weaknesses. This in turn would not give room for the envy of others. Self-awareness is a shield, a psychological shield that can help you get over whatever envious feeling you might have against other people. When you're self-aware, there's this kind of boldness that it gives to you. Nobody will be able to talk you down or make you feel that you're not good enough, because you already know what you're capable of doing. You already know your strengths. You know your purpose. You know the reason why you are here. You are extremely busy working in your purpose, so you don't even have time to start getting envious of other people. Number 5, self-comparison. Self-comparison is one of those things that we do that leads us into envy. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 12, that those who compare themselves with themselves, they are not wise. There are some of us that it is what our friends are doing that we want to do. We have not taken our time to ask God that, God, is this what you want me to do? But because we are always comparing ourselves, then that self-comparison will make you develop lack of contentment for what it is that you're doing. It will make you develop inferiority complex. Then it will push you into unhealthy competition with other people. That is what self-comparison does. And you need to, ditch any form of comparison. Some of us, maybe we have a business that we're doing. We are doing well in that business, so It's just that we are going through processes. But because of self-comparison, it is what that your friend is doing or that business that your neighbor is doing that you want to do. Yes, the sky is big enough for everyone, but are you sure? What is driving you to do that business that your neighbor or your friend is doing? Have you asked yourself if it is not self-comparison? Have you asked yourself that if you are not being pushed by envy? Yes, Amarachi, self-comparison leads us into envy. If you see anyone who compares themselves always, or someone who is full of copycat attitude, they are always copying whatever other people are doing, then such people are envious people. They are envious people. Anyone that you see that they are always, we are in a woke world anyway. So people will tell you that the sky is big enough because they want to do, they are entrenched in self-comparison and unhealthy competition. They don't bother to ask God is this the path that you want me to walk? But because they're always envious, whatever drives their decisions is envy. So self-comparison leads you into unhealthy competition. Sometimes that thing you're doing, it would be successful. But because of envy, you get yourself driven away from that path. Then you go into what someone else is doing. Let me continue reading. Self-comparison drives you into unhealthy competition, of course. It leads you into envy and jealousy. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop comparing your journey to others. You can just see someone that is doing well, maybe they become successful, and you begin to become envious of them. Do you know the processes that they've gone through? Do you know the journey that they've had to walk? These are the things that we need to ask ourselves. Your own journey is unique. Tell yourself that your own journey is unique. Your processes are unique. So you need to, be contented, even as much as you desire to be more. Be contented. Don't begin to envy other people's journey or envy other people's success. Admire them. You can learn from them, but don't become envious because sometimes they've paid their dues. And the point that you are in is the point that you need to pay your dues. So it will be very foolish, extremely foolish of you to begin to enter into an healthy competition with those people. And the funniest part is that nowadays that people don't just enter into an healthy competition with you. They will also do everything to drag you down. They are not only competing with you because of self-comparison, they now go into the journey of dragging you down so that they can rise. This is the part that, shocks me every time I witness such attitudes. It is very fine. Someone is doing something and you feel that's the booming business. I want to get into this kind of business. Go ahead and nobody has said that. Nobody has a monopoly of any business or whatever it is. But then they will now graduate into the journey of dragging that person down because they want to rise. If you are guilty, if you've done this before, or you find yourself in this kind of journey, you need to stop. It is because you've not understood the kind of purpose that the Lord has given unto you. You've not understood yourself. That is why you are entering into an unhealthy competitive journey with other people. At this point, I want to catch my breath. Let me play an advert, then I'll come back. On the show. Yeah, welcome back. If you're just joining us on the show, my name is Oluwatosin Olajumoke Arodudu, and this is the Today's Women's Discovery Talk Show. And our topic of discussion today is envy. So sit back, join us, and enjoy the show. So Margaret said that stepping on people to rise. Yes, ma. A lot of people are guilty of this. They're not only going to enter into a competition with you, they will now step on you, they will rubbish you, they will drag down what you're doing in order to rise. They will make you look inconsequential as if you don't even know what you're doing so that they can rise. So we see these things everywhere. It's all around us. It is a very despicable act. If you're guilty of it, you need to stop. Because the truth is that someone that is destined to rise No matter how much you match them or you paint them black before the whole world, they will still rise. There is only little that you can do. They will still rise. Someone is destined to rise, they will rise. So it is not necessary. Don't enter into an healthy competition with anyone because you want to rise. All you need to do is to just find your purpose, the purpose for which you are created, then begin to walk on that path. Whatever distractions come, push it aside and continue to trudge on. Distractions will come. People will make you feel as if you are not good enough. Don't bother your head. You know that you're good enough. When you know who you are, nobody will tell you who you are not, and you will accept it. It's not possible. So let's go on. Yes. So these are the 5 things that you need to, get to the root of these five kinds of feeling or attitude. If you lack of contentment, ingratitude, inferiority complex, unhealthy competition, and what's that 4th one? Lack of self-awareness. If you can get to the root of this attitude, self-comparison, yeah. If you can deal with these 5 kinds of attitude, nature, then you realize that envy would not even have any form of sitting in your life. Because at that point, you are a complete package. You understand who you are. You understand the purpose for which you are created. You don't feel inferior, and nobody can make you feel inferior. So you realize that envy does not have a place in your life. So let's go on. How do you deal with people who are envious of you? There are times that maybe you've done all these things, you've done a soul search, you realize that you are not envious, and if you realize that you've gone through the emotional envy before, you have been able to successfully deal with it. And maybe you're just minding your lane. You still meet people that are envious of you. It's normal. Some people will just decide they just don't like you. They're just envious of, maybe they don't like your face. They don't like how you carry yourself. They just don't like you. They're jealous of you. Maybe your aura disgusts them, or they don't want to see your face. Envy is a very dangerous emotion once it graduates into jealousy. That's how you see people, they just kill people. Like they don't want to see their face. There are some people that whenever, if they mention your name around them, they can kill you if they have the opportunity to kill you. That's what envy does. So once you understand that, oh, these people or this person is envious of me, and it has graduated into jealousy, even envy, if it's only envy self, and they have decided to allow that envy to rest in their hearts. Maybe you started studying their patterns and you have realized that this person is envious of me, and if they have the opportunity, they can even kill me. Then you need to cut such people off. Sometimes you might have to cut them off blatantly. Sometimes you might have to use wisdom to cut them off. So let's keep on. Let me read. A lot of people have lost their lives to envious individuals. Even in offices, people have been poisoned because they have an envious colleague. Amidst relatives, people have been poisoned. Amidst friends, people have been poisoned. Envy is a very dangerous emotion once you allow it to sit in your life. And once you have gotten an inkling that someone is envious of you, please cut them off. Because once there's something they say in Yoruba, they say, Ija Ilara Okinton Boro, that is, an envious fight does not finish. Once envy is the root of a misunderstanding, it doesn't finish. So the only thing you can do for yourself in such a situation is to cut off from such environments or from such an individual or people so that you can preserve your own life. So let's keep on. Let me keep on reading. When people are jealous of you, they can harm you. The devil will use them very well to destroy you. The devil will, when they are jealous of you, maybe the devil wants to get you, he will use those envious people to do everything to destroy you. Sometimes they don't even know that they are on a mission being used by the devil. That's why you need to be vigilant. So we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. When you realize that envy is something that you're always battling with, then it is time for you to raise your altar of prayer. Because some people, that is the strong gold that the devil has deposited on their path. As they're striving, as they're moving on in life, they keep dealing with envy, fighting envious battles. Once you have realized that these are the kind of things that you have to contend with in your journey in life, then it is time for you to go to God in prayer. Because it is no longer ordinary. It is no longer ordinary. Sister Yetunde said, comparison never yields good. Yes, and you want to will let your Benny. Exactly, Sister Yetunde. Envious misunderstanding, it doesn't finish. Cut anyone envious of you, preserve your life. They're capable of harming you. Yes. Because sometimes they don't know that they are even being used by the devil. Silently is happening, no problem. They don't know that they're even being used by the devil. So if you continue to dwell amidst envious people, or you already know that someone is envious of you and you continue to dwell amidst, they will destroy you. They will harm you. They will finish you. So once you know that, okay, this is no longer a misunderstanding, this is about envy, then it is time for you to exit such an environment. If it is a job, I beg, drop your resignation letter. Don't be fixated. You can, when it comes to preserving, God has given us this life and it is our responsibility to preserve our life. Don't say because I'm looking for my daily bread, then you want to stay around people that are envious of you. They will kill you. A lot of people have lost their lives in offices, amongst friends. Maybe they went out in a garden, before you know it, the poison. I've not read things like this on the social media, whereby people have been poisoned because of envious friends. So please, cut yourself away from people or individuals that are envious of you, because they are capable of harming you. The devil will use them to destroy you. Once you notice an envious individual in your life or around your life, cut them off. Run away from them. Sever every access that they have to you. They can destroy you by harming you or by destroying everything that you hold dear. The best way to get delivered from envious friends and people is to go to God in prayer. Go to God in prayer. Sometimes it's a huge distraction in our journey in life, because you continue to contend with envy. If you go to this place, people will become envious. If you go to that place, there's something that you carry, horror. It drives envy into your life. It is an attack. It is not normal. So when you realize that that's a pattern in your life, then you need to go to God in prayer and get to the root of it. Envy would open doors of attacks into your life. When people are envious of you, you're contending with the emotion envy everywhere you go. It opens doors of several attacks for you. Then you realize that you start fighting battles that you never imagined that you were going to fight. Why? Because somebody is envious of you, or some people are envious of you, and they've created a lot of, branches that drags a lot of envious individuals into your life. That is why I said that you need to go to God in prayer. Preserving our mental health, like we said a few weeks ago. Yes, ma. Preserve your mental health. Don't say, oh, I want to keep this relationship. I don't want people to see me as a bad person. Then you keep envious people in your life. You will harm yourself. Let them see. I like there was one post I saw on Facebook on Friday. Somebody wrote that, don't, because of you don't know tomorrow, keep stupid friends. Because those stupid friends, let me put envious friends now, they will not allow you to see that tomorrow. So because you're trying to keep a good face, I don't want people to see me as a bad person. No, they will say that I'm always cutting people off. Then you keep dangerous people in your life. Then you're going to suffer for it. For your mental health, for your sanity. When you realize that, oh, these are the kind of people I'm surrounded with, envious lots, cut them off, so that you can progress, so that you can move. Because sometimes the devil uses these people to slow us down. He uses them to make us stagnate, because you continue to fight battles here and there when you're supposed to use that energy to forge on. You'll be fighting battles. So pay attention. Let us be vigilant. And I said that. Sorry, because I jotted and I don't want to miss anything. Yes, I said also look inwards. So nowadays we live in a world of exaggeration. When you realize that you're always people are always envious of you, then look inwards. Is there anything you're doing that is not also appropriate? Perhaps you're living an over-exaggerated life. Nowadays people come on social media, they tell a lot of lies just to paint a kind of picture to people. Then people will not start getting envious of them based on that lies. Then the envy will not graduate into all sorts of battles. Why? They told a lie that attracted battles into their lives. So don't over-exaggerate. I'm not saying don't celebrate your wins. Of course, we must celebrate our wins. It encourages us. It's an inspiration for us. But be wise. Be wise. Understand when to be silent and when to speak. There are some achievements that you just keep it sealed. While some, you share it. Maybe you just want to thank God, you want to inspire people. Go ahead. And when you're sharing, leave out some things. Don't always share. Don't let us. If I tell myself this, that in your bid to be truthful, or in your bid to appear as plain as possible to people that are reading me, I have to be careful for my own safety. So sometimes we open doors of attacks into our lives also. So pay attention. Is there anything you're doing that is making people to get envious of you? Are you over exaggerating yourself. These are the things that we need to pay attention into. Then also, then be careful of people that are quick to label everyone as being envious. Some people are prone to, I don't want to stay around such people. Exactly, man. Are you telling people too many unnecessary things about yourself, which is making you prone? Some of us have not even said anything. The little ones we are saying is putting us in envious situations where people begin to, envy will just generate. So you need to pay attention to yourself. Know the kind of things you share. Know the kind of things. Don't tell people the nitty-gritty of the details of your life. Leave out some blanks. Keep them guessing. Celebrate your wins. As women, we need to celebrate ourselves. It's important. I know. As an identity coach, I teach this. But at the same time, be sensitive to your environment. If you feel an unrest in your spirit, Sister Franca, thank you. Welcome on board. I'm happy to see you, but we're almost done. But you can still, it's fine. I'm still on it, maybe at least in the next 10 minutes, and you can catch up. Celebrate yourself. As women, I always teach this because it helps us, it builds our self-esteem when we celebrate our little wins. But don't be too detailed. Leave out some blanks. Let them guess. So that you don't become vulnerable to unnecessary attacks. Because this kind of social media world that we are in now is an avenue for, before, if they want to monitor you, they will go and do it in a spiritual and voodoo way or whatever it is. But nowadays, people can get any information about your life on the social media. And it is even more dangerous for people like us that we're always writing, we're always teaching. So you need to build a kind of, try and be a bit, what English should I use now? A bit careful. Don't always go into the nitty-gritty. Keep people guessing so that you don't open the door of envy into your life. Let's go on. The people that are always quick to label everyone of being envious of them. I don't want to be, those people they're not good for my mental health. I don't want to be around such individuals because I believe that someone who has emotional maturity, someone who is empathetic in nature, you're not quick to point accusing fingers at people. People that are quick to label others, they make everyone around them suspicious. Like they make you begin to, everybody will be suspecting one another because you don't know when they will tell you that you are being envious of them. So when you see people who are always quick to label others as being envious of them, you need to be careful because sometimes these people are the envious people. These are the things that I've discovered. When you see someone always pointing fingers, oh, this one is envious of me. Oh, that one is envious of me. So why is everybody envious of you? Pay attention. Pay attention to people like that. Sometimes they are the envious ones, but because they don't want people to look at them as being envious, because everybody's afraid of the emotion envy, we always deceive ourselves. Oh, I'm not capable of being envious of other people. It's a lie. Anybody can fall into the trap of envy. Anybody can fall into this. If you're not self-disciplined, if you don't know yourself, you don't know your God, envy can slip into your heart at any time. So nobody can beat their chest and say that, no, it's other people that are envious of me. I've never been envious before in my life. Pay attention to such people. They are oftentimes they are the ones that are not seeing that emotion, envy in their hearts. So let's go on. So let's pay attention to ourselves. Let's stop labeling people. Envy is not something that we should all treat as a leprous feeling. We are slamming one another with the emotion envy. Oh, they are envious of me. So you, who are you envious of? Because if you ask everybody now in this world, like everybody will tell you that it's other people that are envious of them. So who are these people that are envious of other people? That is one thing that's one thing that always makes me laugh when people are always throwing the word envy around. Hey, this one is envious of me. Oh, that one is envious of me. Oh, they are jealous of me. Blah, 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 blah. You create problems everywhere. So who are these people that are now the envious ones? They dwell amidst us. So let us pay attention. Let us look inwards. Let us pay attention to ourselves. Sister Franca said that preserving our mental health is key to living a balanced life. Currently working in a psychiatric hospital at the moment, and I know how this issue is. Yes, Sister Franca, we must preserve your mental health. Don't let anybody come and tell you that, hey, you have to keep some relationships because you don't know tomorrow. If a relationship is toxic for your mental health, cut it off. You owe yourself the duty of care to preserve your sanity. This is what I always teach. If you like, call me toxic, I don't care. I have been there. When you want to manage relationships, you don't want people to see you as a terrible person, then you begin to manage people that you're supposed to cut off from your life so that good people can come into your life. I'm very grateful to God for the kinds of people that surround me now, because now, and one thing I realize is that if you're not vocal about the kinds of people you want around you and in your life, then you're going to invite a lot of terrible and negative people into your life. Be vocal about what you want. These are the things I cannot tolerate. These are the things I can tolerate, so that the people that are not good for you, they will not even bother to come near you. Be assertive. Be vocal about the kind of people about who you are, and about the kinds of relationship that you want to have with people. So that you don't just have every kind of person coming into your life and creating problems for you here and there. Like Sister Franca said, she said she works in a psychiatric hospital. Our mental health is key. Protect your mental health from toxic relationships and toxic people. So let's go on. Let me read from identity now. Don't allow anyone's envy of you drag you into an envious journey also. We'll soon finish. Amarachi, please give me more time. Maybe in the next 10 minutes we'll be done. Don't allow anyone's envy of you drag you into an envious journey also. I'm reading from identity now. Sometimes people are envious of us, and that envy mirrors itself in us, and we begin to prove ourselves to them. We also enter into an envious journey with them. That is why I said, don't surround yourself with toxic and negative people. If someone is toxic, they have the ability of replicating that toxicity in you. That is why you need to cut toxic people that are not good for you, people that are negative and negative energy, cut them off so that you don't replicate that. They don't replicate that behavior in you, and you also enter into a journey that is negative with them. So let me continue reading. There are people who are envious of you, and they drag you into an unhealthy and competitive journey. The truth is that they are the ones envious of you, but they will make themselves, they lie to themselves and lie to the whole world that you are the one envious of them. But because you don't understand yourself, you don't know who you are, you begin to feel that you are the envious one. Don't allow people to label you. Anybody who labels you and you know that this label is not for me, rip it off. Turn that label into shreds. Rip it off. Don't allow people to label you and get away with it to destroy you. So that's why I say you need to know who you are so that people will not tell you who you are not. Let's keep reading. So when people drag into an unhealthy competitive journey, you also begin a journey of proving something to them and proving something to yourself and to them in order to gain their validation and approval. People that you are supposed to cut off, people that you are supposed to get away from, you begin to enter into a journey of proving yourself to them and to validate yourself with them. God has not called you into a journey of proving anything to anyone. Yes, you are not called to prove anything to anyone. Look at what the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 4. It says that, then I observed all the work and ambition motivated by envy. What a waste, smoke and spitting into the wind. A lot of people enter into ambitious journey because they were motivated by envy. Maybe they started a project as a result of envy. Then they work hard, they succeed at that project. Then you find them dumping that project. Why? The motivation of starting that project in the first place was envy. And after even succeeding at the project, they are not deriving satisfaction from it. So they dump it. It becomes a waste of time, a waste of energy. Whatever ambition you forge based on envy is always, it always ends in waste. Because at the end of the day, you find out that you ditch it. Why? Because it wasn't something that you really wanted to do. What motivated you was the emotion, envy. And envy is destructive. So whatever it is envy creates, or whatever it is envy builds, or the foundation is envy, it always ends up scattering. So let me keep on reading. Be careful of driving yourself hard as a result of envying someone else. Some people are driving themselves hard today. Nobody has put them on that journey, but because they are envious of other people and they want to be like those people, so they enter into a race. They are running, a race that nobody has called you into. Be careful. Don't enter into a race or an ambition or a business or a job because you are envious of another person and you want to prove something to them or to yourself. No one is you. No one can be you. So maintain your lane and guard your heart diligently while facing your own purpose and walking in your own journey. You are unique. Nobody can be you. Maintain your lane. Guard your heart diligently. Don't allow little things, fears of this world and affections of this world to take a seat in your heart. It creates a lot of damage in our soul if you don't guard your heart diligently against the cares and affections of this world. Strive to be confident and be at peace while working in your purpose. Do not be riddled with negative emotions as a result of what anybody is doing around you or against you. Be self-disciplined. Don't allow whatever it is people are doing. I listened to a message one time, and they said that when the mockers are mocking, you just keep walking. When they're trying to distract you, they're trying to mock you, they're trying to pull you down, you just keep walking. Don't get distracted. Keep moving. Do not be riddled. You always have the choice of ridding yourself of people who are toxic for you. You have the option of shutting the door against them if they refuse to heed you when you call them to order. Lastly, envy is an emotion, and we must not be afraid to talk about it. And that was why I brought this topic, because envy is not something that everybody wants to talk about. All of us are not guilty of being envious. It is other people that are guilty of the emotion envy against us. And that is why I wrote about it in the book Identity, in order to demystify this emotion. You need to get a copy of Identity so that you get to understand there are a lot of things that are under that topic envy that I didn't talk about in this talk show. You need to read it by yourself so you can get to understand the emotion envy deeply. We have 3 people on board. I'm not seeing comments again. Are you there? Who is there? Please let me know if you are still there. Or network, as network done a number on us. Anyway, I'm almost done. I'll round up now. So lastly, envy is an emotion, and you need to get to the root of it. So if you can write, if you can jot down, please jot down. Pay attention to yourself. If you find out that you are envious of other people, what could be the cause? Okay, Sister Franca, thank you. You are there, thank you. If you find out that you are envious of other people, what could be the cause? What are your triggers? What induces envy in you? You can write this down, please. Are you happy with where you are? Do you feel insecure or rejected? Are you on a journey to prove anything to anyone? These are the things that, that builds that creates the emotional envy in us. Are you on a journey to prove anything to anyone? What would you like to change in your life? Are you happy with where you are? If you're not happy with where you are, move, like they always say. If you're not happy with where you are, move. You're not a tree. Ma Grace, okay, you're there. Thank you, ma. Are you having financial stress? These are the things that stirs up the emotion envy. When you're having financial stress, you begin to envy other people that are financially buoyant. You begin to calculate their money for them. You begin to have negative emotions towards them, rather than you go to your God and pray so that God blesses the works of your hands. You allow yourself to slip into an envious journey. So what can you do to change your financial situation? Who are you surrounded with? Sometimes you are not even envious. You are just surrounded with the wrong kind of people. So make conscious effort to surround yourself with the right people so that you don't get to harbor all these negative emotions. If you are surrounded with the wrong people, sometimes it leads to a lot of toxicity, toxic thoughts, toxic emotions in you. So surround yourself with good people. Are you happy with your circle of people? The people that you call your friends, are you happy with them? What words do you constantly hear, and what do you read? What do you read? Do you have a healthy relationship with yourself? Do you understand yourself? Do you enjoy your alone times? Do you have a relationship with yourself? Do you understand who you are? Do you have a healthy relationship with your spouse? How is your marriage contributing to your emotional health? How is your marriage contributing to your emotional health? How about where you work? Is it toxic? Do you love your job? Are you being bullied at work or in school? How do you respond to criticisms? How do you stand up for yourself? These questions are not exhaustive of the questions you should ask yourself when getting to the root of envy in you. Ask yourself thorough questions that can help you attack the emotion envy so you can be free from its clutches. So if you didn't get that part, when the show is over, just play it back. Ask yourself these sincere questions. In case maybe you feel that you're envious of other people and you want to get to the root, ask yourself sincere questions and begin to pray that the Lord deals with this emotion in you, because envy is a destroyer. If you're envious, it destroys you from inside out. It takes away your blessing. It slows you down. It doesn't make you appreciate what you have so that you can even build on it. You would always be in an envious journey towards other people. Envy is a destructive emotion. So we should eschew it. We should avoid it. We should not allow it to take a seat in our lives. So at this point, I'll be drawing a curtain to the show. Thank you for joining me. God bless you. My Grace, I'm so happy to see you today. I hope you'll join us next week. Sister Franca, I'm so happy to see you. Thank you. Sayetunde, are you still there? Thank you for joining. Amarachi, I didn't see you again. No, is it network? Thank you for moderating. Thank you, everyone. Yes, envy takes away your peace of mind. Envy takes, that's what Sister Franca is saying. Envy takes, you begin to think things that are not even necessary. Your thoughts will begin to wander left, right, and center because you are envious. So, like, let me see, what does the Bible say? Proverbs 14, let me read it. That's what the Bible says. It says, envy rots the bone. Proverbs 14:30 says that a heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bone. Because you would always be thinking, yes, Amarachi said that she would not allow envy to take a seat in her life. Exactly. You would always allow your thoughts to wander when you are envious. But when you're at peace with yourself, you are contented with your journey, you understand your processes, and you have decided to walk in that path, then you realize that you have peace that passes all understanding. But when you are envious, your thoughts would always wander. You would always be thinking of things that are not relevant to your journey. So please let us remove every kinds of envious thoughts in our minds, and let us abhor the thought envy itself. Don't ever allow it in your life. Don't allow it in your relationships. Don't allow it in your family. Don't allow it amongst your children. These are the things that we need to teach our children right from the cradle. Never to allow envy to take a seat in their lives. So if you want to get more content about this topic, I want you to get a copy of Identity. It's available on Amazon. Yes, envy rots the bones. Exactly, Amarachi. It's in the Bible. Envy destroys the bone. It makes you prone to all sorts of sicknesses. Hypertension, blood pressure, a lot of sicknesses that are being caused by envious thoughts, envious feelings. So we must not allow it in our lives. It's a destroyer. It's a tool of the devil to destroy us. We mustn't allow it at all. It destroys the bones. May we not be prone to envy in Jesus' name. And may we take conscious effort in order to deal with whatever envious feeling that we might have towards other people, so that it doesn't take a seat in our lives. May we be intentional about our emotional health, so that we can live a wholesome life. So get a copy of Identity. Is available in Nigeria. We're looking for sponsors. If you want to sponsor this, you want to sponsor this book, like you want to sponsor people, you want to pay for some copies so that we can give it to people free of charge. A copy is 5,000 naira. If you pay for one copy, we can give it to a student at the university. We can give it to a student in a senior secondary school, maybe SS3. They're at that point that they are getting into the real world, and they need something that can act as a guidance for them. And we can, organizations, leadership, a lot of stuff are about leadership are also embedded in this book. How to lead efficiently. You can also find it in Identity. So it cuts across all walks of life. It's like a manual that can guide you, that can help you to live a wholesome and healthy life. So you can pay for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 50, 100, and so on, 200, 500 copies, so that we can give it out to people in order to, to help them to find who they are, so that they don't get exposed into the world out there and become lost while at it. So I'll be drawing the curtain to the show at this point. Thank you for joining me. Same time next week, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. I'll be bringing another talk show on the show, and I hope to see you there. Thank you so much, Amarachi, for moderating. God bless you. Bye, everyone. I'll play some advert now, and I'll draw the curtain to the show for the day. Happy Sunday. Love you all. Bye.
DJ play that happy music. Make them play that happy music.
That's about identity. If you want to sponsor us, you can send an email to oinspires@gmail.com. Amarachi, if you're there, please type the email in the comment section so that anybody that wants to sponsor, pay for some copies, they can send us an email, then we'll get in touch with them.
DJ play that happy music. Yeah. Make them play that happy music. Yeah. Make the baby happy music. Yeah. Make the people sing along. From my head down to my toes. Oh yeah. My mama said the feeling must to cash you. It's true love, it's true love. And if you say something, don't they happen?
Okay, bye-bye. God bless you. Who's dropping a comment? Let me see. Oh, okay. Thank you, Amarachi. All right. Have a blessed week. God bless you. See you next week. Bye.